You hadn't moved to the city, had you?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the hour has arrived. I call this meeting to order. Mr. Johnson, would you give us the invocation, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, we do thank you again for allowing us to come and handle our city business tonight. We ask you to give us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make the right decision to carry our city on. We ask you to look down upon us and bless the state, the government, the soldiers on the battlefield, our sick and the bereaved. In your name, I do pray.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of the country. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, I've got a proclamation that I need to amend the agenda, or either we can handle it in comments, however y'all want to do it. It's been on our desk for a week or two to commend this gentleman who apparently, from what we were told when we accepted to do this for him, they're having a special day for him, and he supposedly had accomplished things that most men have not accomplished in the martial arts field, and all this is commending him. Y'all want to amend and put it as an item, or you want to do it under citizen comments? How you want to handle it?
Thank y'all to do it as an item.
As an item, okay, let's amend it then, and put it as 1A. Let's introduce it as 1A. And can I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Ramey has moved that we amend the agenda to include the proclamation recognizing the Master David Wilson Martial Arts Specialist as 1A. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Griffin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anything else we need to do to amend and get the budget ready to work with? I mean, the agenda, excuse me. Hearing none, I entertain a motion that we approve the amended agenda.
Our motion.
Mr. Johnson made a motion, we approve the amended agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have our work cut out for us. Andrea, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. So most of y'all were at the county commission meeting the other night, and with the Joint Development Authority, a few years ago, most of y'all remember when EP American Footwear located here in Hazelhurst, and there was an incentive package that was promised to that company to get them to locate here from the city and the county. And the city council and the county commission both voted on that incentive package in open meetings. We now actually have the bond. We need to get the bond issue done. And, you know, I guess over the past few years, it kind of fell through the cracks. Not exactly sure what happened, so we're just trying to play cleanup with that. Nothing has changed. The incentive package is still the same. It just needs to be reapproved by y'all, so we just need a vote to issue that bond.
Gentlemen, I think y'all all heard this the other night, you've heard it again. What it amounts to is with the error, and there's always, we all make mistakes, or none without them. What we're gonna do is, as of us approving it, the commissioners the other night and us tonight, the promise that was made to them in the beginning will start now. And that's what it amounts to. They promised this, and so any other questions?
I just, you know, they paid their full tax for the last 3 years as opposed to being abated like it was supposed to have been. Is that correct?
They have not paid any tax, but they will pay that tax.
Oh, okay.
They just found this out.
Yeah, okay.
They
That's
just
what I
found it
thought.
out.
I want to make sure I understood
Yeah.
what you had told me.
Yeah, so they'll pay
It
that,
was-
I think it's 3 years of tax, they will
Right.
pay that amount.
And then the
And then
abatement
the
will start
abatement
in the
will
12
start,
year.
right.
That's, no, not 12 now.
No, it's 10 years,
That's
I believe.
Yeah, okay. Okay, all right, gentlemen, you heard I entertain a motion, we approve this. Mr. Bloodbush made a motion that we approve it. Is there a second? Mr. Johnson's seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor of approving this at this stage, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You've got what you came for.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, this 1A, this lady, in fact, two of them came in my office, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, and went over all this with me, and I said, oh, sure, give me something to work on, and I'll handle it. Well, lo and behold, I gave it to Lori, and she remembered it, she's got this ready, we've all signed it. I entertain a motion that we approve the proclamation commending Master David Wilson on his 50 years in the martial arts.
Offer motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion, is there a second? Mr. Bloodworth has seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor of signing this proclamation and commending Master David Wilson, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so done. We'll deliver it to them tomorrow, and I think they're using it Saturday. Okay, let's move on. I questioned putting this back on the agenda, but some of my advisors said that we might want to discuss it a little bit. Okay, we're at item number 2, in case some of you don't have the agenda. It's the Southern Fire Ant and Mosquito Control process that we were introduced to Monday at our work session. If you remember, the man presented it that they fly to town twice a month. Is it twice a month? Twice a month. And the fee for doing this amounts to about $24 per household per year. And we would have to add this to our citizens' bill each month, which would amount to, about $2 a month. But we're in the process of looking at it, and I think we've all decided that we don't know enough at this stage, and that's what y'all have told me during the week, back and forth. So do we want to hash it out anymore? We want to think about it? What do you want to do? You're the decision maker, not me.
Well, this would run us approximately $60,000 a year to cost. That's what we figured the other night, as to take and have them do it. And they're gonna spray for 8 months out of the year and everything. Last Tuesday after the Monday night work session, I went and I spoke with Carl, and he said we can get the equipment and the pesticide, the setup and everything else for a little over $12,000 to spray ourselves. Or not 12,000, excuse me, a little over $8,000 to spray it ourselves and everything, and that would take, and we could probably do it twice a week. And that's just the sprayer and the pesticide and everything else. And $60,000 is a chunk. And I know $24 a year is not much, but that $60,000, I don't know.
I'm not in favor of raising any fees.
Well,
for people to pay.
And I'm not either, but like I said, at the end of the day, it'll be a council decision. I'm voicing my opinion and tell you what Mr. Leggett's told me. And if we need to take and get him in here and discuss it more on down the road, I don't think it's something we need to make a decision on right now anyway. And if it's just open for discussion, I've spoken my piece and I know and what I know.
Well, I was personally going to leave it off to find out more about it, but y'all wanted it on here, and here it is. That's what y'all asked for.
Well, that sounds real good to me, because 60,000 versus out of 8,000 is a heck of a difference. And we can save trying to raise the prices for our people. We need to do that.
Absolutely.
If we're going to raise the price for people, for a reason, whatever reason, it needs to be published in the paper.
Yeah, they need to, right, that's one reason I wanted to wait, we could at least make some kind of public announcement and let the public have a little input in whether they want it or not. Again, now that's roughly 2,500 accounts, $2 a piece, $5,000 a month, 12 months, $60,000. That's $2 per household per month. But at any rate, I think we need to hash it over, of course, look at what Carl is in there have been looking at, and we'll just put it back on next work session.
I think that's
All right.
what we should do.
Okay. All right. I won't leave it off Strawberry. Thank you. Let's move on. The county, the other night, has already had approved this, and I think we're ready. Item number 3 is our intergovernmental agreement between the county and the city for them to hold the elections, just like the same agreement we've been under for some time. I entertain a motion that we approve the agreement for the holding of city elections by the county registrar.
Offer motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion, second by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. This is a good way of doing business. Item number 4 is discuss and vote on the purchase of the new street sweeper. What y'all laughing about? It's already been done. All of you have signed it. We're just making it official. I entertain a motion that we purchase a new street sweeper. Who wants to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Grimm's made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Ramey is seconded. All in favor? Any further discussion? All in favor of purchasing the new street sweeper, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's now official. Ms. Lopez, is the Patel Tanner beer and wine license all in good form?
Yes, sir.
Chief has inspected everything and signed off on what they're supposed to do?
Yes,
Gentlemen, it appears that everything is in order for the approval of the beer and wine license for J. Matty Mart, Patel and Tanner. They have the right qualified person bonded and licensed to be there and handle it. I entertain a motion that we approve this.
Make the motion to issue the
Mr.
license.
Bloodworth has made a motion we issue the license. There a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson and Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion?
Here's just one, I wanted to ask, is this the same one that we took and did last year and had to rescind?
I'm afraid so.
this store has been purchased by another gentleman, out of Coffee County. And he has been in there revamping and getting ready and so on and so forth. So, yes.
I just want to make sure, so anyway, but that's all I want to find
We
out.
make a little money every time we issue it.
We're good.
All right, where are we? All in favor? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we've got issues of another license. Entertain a motion that we approve Chief Williams to attend shooter response training, August the 24th, next week.
Make the motion.
Mr. Bloodworth made a motion that we approve the training for Chief Williams. Did I hear you say a second? Mr. Ramey's made it second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's carried. Johnny Watkins was here. Escaping for a minute there. Mr. Johnny Watkins was here explaining the Hazelhurst Music Festival and Breast Cancer Walk on October the 6th. I've been involved in this thing 2 or 3 times. These people do a good job. It's the location that they had out at the old park out here on Baxter Highway. It's not available for them, and they're gonna move it back uptown behind the Bank of Hazelhurst and the big parking lot in there. And they've asked us to approve this for October the 6th. Entertain a motion that we approve it.
Make a motion.
Mr. Griffiths made a motion that we approve the Music Festival and Breast Cancer Walk for October 6th for Johnny Watkins and his associates. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. You've got all these work session and regular council meeting minutes. Ms. Lopez is just feeding us a little bit at a time. But you are feeding us, aren't you?
I'm feeding you.
Are y'all ready to lump all of the way, she's already got it lumped and simplified. Yeah, it's number 8. Yeah. It starts in June and goes through all of June, all of the meetings. I entertain a motion that we approve these minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the amendments.
Mr. Griffiths made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bloodworth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. The next 3 items, the garbage and sewer report, the adjustment there, the water and sewer adjustment is abbreviated, and the check register. Can we approve all 3 of those at one time?
Yes.
Okay, so moved. Mr. You move that? Mr. Johnson made a motion that we approve 9, 10, and 11.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bloodworth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We're down citizens' comments. Anybody in the area want to make a comment? Yes, sir, Mr.
I put a letter in each one of these box about meeting with the architect next Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the county office. So we don't have a committee, but we're gonna try to get a committee. So if anybody interested who wants to come and wants to be on the committee, that's fine. But we definitely need at least the mayor and one councilman, I think, to be there. And Carl said he'd assist too, so.
And this is in the county commissioner's office.
County Commissioner's office at 10 o'clock. He's the architect that did 3 of the stations, the last 3. I think he did Hart County, Cordell, and another. But he's from Dublin, and I asked him first, could we just Xerox copy his blueprint using? He said no, so I said, well, could we meet with you and, and, because we got to make some changes, remember, that some changes they wanted, John, so we'll start 10 o'clock and, you know, go from there.
And that's over in the commissioner's office?
Yes, sir, Commissioner's office where we met last night, Tuesday night.
I'll be there. Any other citizens or, yes, ma'am?
Pineland CSB, they're the mental health providers for our area. Baxley is the nearest. Does the city have any correspondence with Pineland CSB?
Not to my knowledge, I don't.
The county does. I mean, we're getting the people down there to them. That's what we're talking about, those young people.
Well, there's a lot of old ones too, but, you know, it just concerns me that this big of an organization that serves supposed to be serving our area, has never even had an office here in Jeff Davis County.
Are we talking about the ones that handle the young people now? What are you talking about in town?
Well, the mental health people that's like on drugs, people that's schizophrenic, people that are, you know, in need of services.
Well, now, I don't know a lot, I tell you, I haven't had any involvement, but I do know this, I've been over that hospital a lot, and they're spending, I don't know exactly, what's the total amount of that contract, Charles, is that mental health unit?
Over $500,000.
Yeah.
More than that.
Well, over $1 million.
Over $1 million, yes.
I was thinking of the wound.
Wound center.
Wound center is $500,000.
Are you familiar with the mental health center that we built and attached to the hospital?
Yes, I am, but Pineland CSB is in out of Statesboro, and I would think that the city has some kind of connection with an organization like that.
Can I just say something? That's a matter for the county commission, not the city.
It's
council.
only the county handles
See, the county
that?
covers the city
I
also.
think that's.
Pardon?
The county covers the city also.
Yeah, I think
So it's a county.
And
I've
how
never
does
had
that
any
work?
communication
Yeah,
at all.
that's not,
Yeah, Pineland, the Jeff Davis Center is actually in Appleton County. It's the Appleton County
Yeah.
Jeff Davis Center.
It is.
So that's why it's based in Appleton County though. But that's from Jeff
But
Davis.
according to what Mr. Purser's telling you, he's always attends the other meetings, it is a joint,
it's something that the county commission,
that's what it is, a joint.
There's nobody from the city involved in it at all?
there's no need to be.
No.
Because the county covers the city also.
Okay. How about the library? Is the county the only one that's covering the library
The Board
also?
of Education also.
The board? The
School
city does not give any funding for
That'd
the
be double
library?
taxation.
That's what, double
That would
taxation?
be double taxation because the city taxpayers are paying county taxes to support the library. So if the city taxpayers pay city taxes, well, then they're paying twice. And there's a law against that.
I mean, we do offer in-kind service to them as far as their services,
Yeah.
water and sewer and things. We offer something in-kind, which we can do. And I know we do that, and I think at one point we were in fact we were at one time cutting the grass out there, but I think they took it back over
Yeah,
to the county.
They're doing it now.
But like I said, we were at one time, but we do offer in-kind service as far as the water and the sewer and everything for the library.
That shocks me that y'all wouldn't be involved with programs like this for our community. I mean, that, to me, would be, city and county, because they,
No,
the
you're
basic handle ain't just in the
duplicating.
county.
You're not understanding, you're duplicating. The
Yeah.
county is in charge of
Yeah.
the city and the county.
Well, how can the county be in charge of the city?
The city residents, we pay taxes too, they're supposed to help us all. That's
It's the way the
the law.
state has got it set up.
I think this is an item we need to work on a little bit later. Is there anything else, Ms. Angie? Is that,
No, not at this time, thank you.
I'm sorry that you're confused, and we may be a little bit confused with this. You're not by yourself, but this is something that you need to take up with,
The county commission.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
But
And I will.
we appreciate you being here. Okay, you gentlemen got anything you want to discuss here? We do have to have a short executive session dealing with real estate. Anything for, entertain a motion, we go into executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Blevins made a motion for executive session, is it second by Mr. Ramey, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll return soon.
I gave a letter to the guys a couple months back. Sometime when y'all have time, I want to talk with y'all.
Entertain a motion, we go back to regular session. Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Griffin's got a report for us.
Report from executive section, there's no action will be taken at this time.
Okay, Mr. Johnson,
So move.
Second.
second by Mr. Bloodworth, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll let you know about that.
Let me have that proclamation out of it, please.